Paul and his wife have been the sort of the hardcore of the hardcore of the Ashley Gang, and I'm drawing a blank. You know, it's terrible when you get old and you forget all kinds of things, like who am I and why am I here? Incidentally, talking about the Gail Carson Trio, we had them at Woodview Coffee House, and that's where I mostly hang my hat, and they knocked it out of the park there. Paul has won 6 songwriting awards from the Will McLean Foundation annual Best Florida Song Competition, including a 2000 first place win with The Creek. His music has also been picked up by the History Channel in the United Kingdom. I'm losing my voice, or my voice is changing back. So if I start singing countertenor, please forgive me. He's also done a solo recording of Good Enough for Me in 1996 and became a Gatorbone recording artist in 2011. Terrific singer, songwriter, all-around good fellow, well met, and knows a lot of things. If you haven't visited our vendors, please do so. If you haven't become a member of the Will McLean Foundation, please stop over at the booth and sign up for your membership. You also get a very nice T-shirt with that, suitable for wearing on warmer days. And if you want to, you can go out to the field and back and wait for the Iditarod dog races to come through. The first annual Florida Iditarod trials are happening on the field out back. Are you ready, Paul?
Evidently not.
Evidently not. So I will tap dance some more. People don't want to see me tap dance.
Check. That's on.
There it is. Now he's happening.
No, I got no controls on this.
I want to remind you to keep the campgrounds and the performance areas as tidy and clean as you can. There's all kinds of recycling for glass and plastics and aluminum cans right by each of the stages. Please remember to recycle. That helps save us from having to try to do some other sorts of things to warm our planet even further.
It's brand new battery.
There are those people that say, our planet is, that global warming is a myth. Well, perhaps the better term to use is climate change. When you get strange Arctic highs coming down into Florida, that means something screwy. When the polar bears are out there trying to find places that they can stay, when it's 90 degrees in Alaska in June and July, you know there's something screwy with our climate. It's changing rapidly. We're hoping we can get Paul up and running here in a moment.
We're hoping to. This is what happens when you're away from the stage for 4 months.
There. And we've got him mic'd and DI'd as well. Let's have a warm Will McLean welcome for Paul Garfinkel.
Thanks. There's a cypress in the wetlands where 10,000 stood before, and she wonders as she came to be alone. Among the giants that cast their shadows, faded leaves upon the shore, faded memories of those she should have known. Fading echoes of the trucks that hold the fallen from the shores of Durban Creek, where the logging road went through. And they tore the mighty down till the biggest stood no more, used them up with her alone, and there she grew. But they battered her and bruised her, left deep scars when they abused her. They feel no grief, no need to hide nor run. And the rain on the horizon, backlit by the setting sun, falls like tears in my heart for what we've done. There's a sparrow in my tree where 10,000 used to be, and she wonders how she came to be alone. Sang her song out from the pines that grew as far as she could see, till we came to tear it down and call it home. Faded echoes of the songs that raised the dawn and set to dusk from the choir of the feathered masses sung. From the lofty perches there, now long gone and turned to dust, leave a solo sparrow's voice, the only one. Still they batter her and bruise her, leave deep scars when they abuse her. But they feel no grief, no need to hide nor run. And the rain on the horizon, backlit by the setting sun, falls like tears in my heart for what we've done. Now there's a ghost out in the woods where a river used to run, and she wonders why she ceased to be at all. All the concrete and the steel that was brought in by the ton, it's long past time for the Rodman Dam to fall. Still they batter her and bruise her, leave deep scars when they abuse her. But they feel no grief, no need to hide nor run. And the rain on the horizon, backlit by the setting sun, falls like tears in my heart for what we've done. Falls like the tears in my heart for what we've done. Thank you. Does the guitar sound okay, Mike? I'm sorry about the issue with the DI. That's probably my guitar and not the... Yeah, I can hear. That's good. Obviously, I have a little thing for the Florida environment. And I got to tell you, it's just amazing to me to be back up here on stage. I'm so happy I could pee my pants. It's been about 4 months. Most of you know that Kay's been a little bit under the weather since right after Christmas, and we've had to follow another path for a while, but our goal is to be back for Will McLean, which, from my perspective, is the best little Florida festival. It's my favorite. This is my 17th year, so I've hit 17 out of 25, so that's not too bad. Bob Patterson and I have co-founded a little group called the Florida Artists Water Alliance, which right now is just trying to get organized. If you're interested, look us up on Facebook, Florida Artists Water Alliance, and like the page. Right now we're busy just trying to gather support, gather interested people. Though the idea is to eventually make it kind of a grassroots activist organization. Another one, there are a number of them, to help protect the fresh water resources of the state of Florida. So I need to find a capo and do an appropriate song. This is from my most recent album called Songs from Sand Lake, which will be available over here at the FOP booth. I have been too lazy to drag them down here yet, but they will be down here. What you gonna do when your well runs dry? Not a single teardrop left to cry. No kind of fix that your money can buy. What you gonna do when your well runs dry? What you gonna do when your well runs dry? No kind of fix that your money can buy. What you gonna do when your river turns to salt? Stick your head in the sand, say it ain't my fault. But it ain't no crime if you don't get caught. What you gonna do when your river turns to salt? What you gonna do when your river turns to salt? There ain't no crime if you don't get caught. What you gonna do when the prairie's paved? Not a single stalk of grain to wave. The land of the free and the home of the brave. What you gonna do when the prairie's paved? What you gonna do when the prairie's paved? The land of the free and the home of the brave. What's gone is gone and what's done is done. When your blood is drained, your heart won't run. What you gonna do when they pump it all away? Pray for one big ass rainy day. For the sins of the present, tomorrow's gotta pay. What you gonna do when they pump it all away? What you gonna do when they pump it all away? Pray for one big ass hurricane. What you gonna do when your well runs dry? What you gonna do when your well runs dry? Thank you. This one I'm going to do for Sandy Arpin. Who I see sitting out there. I live in Mandarin, Florida, about 3 miles due east of the St. Johns River. Mandarin is part of Jacksonville now, subsumed by the monster, by the dirty little town. I might get around to doing that one too. But over near the Mandarin Museum that Sandy and Tracy so capably run and take care of day to day, just a little ways up, Mandarin Road from there is the former home site of Harriet Beecher Stowe. Harriet Beecher Stowe, you might know, wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin. Back in the 1800s, she'd come down to Mandarin to winter and spent a lot of her time writing what appeared to be travel logs, but her idea was that she was going to attract Yankees down to come down to Florida and turn Florida into the southern progressive state. She was very interested in integration and in progressive thinking for her time. So besides writing about the evils of slavery, she was very interested in helping Florida to become something more than it was and to become an example for the rest of the southern states. I'm not so sure that she exactly succeeded when I look around my own town right now. But it's kind of a wonder for me to go over to Mandarin Road and around Mandarin Point and realize that this is where Harriet was. So I wrote this little song for her. one important point to help you understand the lyrics of this song. At one point, she got the opportunity to meet President Abraham Lincoln. And while it can't be absolutely proven for sure, it's reported that he said to her, "So this is the little woman that began this great big war." So this is the little woman who began this great big war, to remind us of the sins we bear, those we're fighting for. Do you seek to know the reasons we set our brother's blood to flow? Go and ask this little woman why. Harriet would know. From Hartford to Cincinnati, up to Maine and back again, winters on the St. John's River, out in rural Mandarin, keeping company with strangers in the famous boat the same, calling Yankees down to Florida by the power of her name. With her heart and pen she wrote to lure the tourists to our land, with the fear of consequences that she seemed to understand. The creation of her Eden could be bought at precious cost, that in the gain of equal rights, nature's future could be lost. So this is the little woman who began this great big war, to remind us of the sins we bear, those we're fighting for. Do you seek to know the reasons we set our brother's blood to flow? Go and ask this little woman why. Harriet would know. Is it possible that in her hands the pen unleashed the sword, creating greatness claimed not as her own, but dictation for the Lord, headed for it in the Southland by the likes of old Legree, but beloved of the shackled and those who fought to set them free. What she'd think about her Florida today. Some roads that led to progress and others lost along the way. Some problems mostly conquered and others yet unsolved. And those we've since created show how little we've evolved. So this is the little woman who began this great big war, to remind us of the sins we bear and those we're fighting for. Do you seek to know the reasons we set our brother's blood to flow? Go and ask this little woman why. Harriet would know. Go and ask this little woman why. Harriet would know. Thank you. Thank you. So also thanks to Sandy. I've had the opportunity in the last month to make an incredible connection with Dr. Keith Holland. Keith is the guy who discovered the location of the wreck of the Maple Leaf in the middle of the St. Johns River off of Mandarin Point. For those of you who don't know, the Maple Leaf was a leased Canadian sidewheeler that were used by the Union Army during the Civil War to move cargo around rivers and waterways. And they were headed from Palatka up to Jacksonville with a load of uniforms and cooking utensils and personal effects of soldiers and private citizens, and hit a Confederate mine just off Mandarin Point and went down and became a hazard to navigation. And the boat disappeared for years and years and years. This April 1st is the 150th anniversary of the sinking of the Maple Leaf, and we're going to have a big to-do about that in Jacksonville. And Dr. Holland has asked me to put that help him put that production together, and it's been a real treat working with somebody as talented and knowledgeable and as dedicated to Florida history as he is. So, a number of years ago, I wrote a song about the sinking of the Maple Leaf. Actually, this is back in 1996, I think, when I recorded this, and this is part of the production. And I have taken some writer's liberty with the historical facts. But this is about the Maple Leaf. Well, I was a Union sailor, and I sailed the inland ways, guiding ships upon these rivers through these dark and deadly days. Headed southbound from the Chesapeake to Carolina's banks. I intended to that shot more on our flanks. Left my home upon the Hudson as the winter's gray came in. Don't know much where I'm going, can't remember where I've been. But I'll sail upon the orders, so they'll safe behind the lines. I'll dodge the rebel snipers, though cautious of their minds. Then we sailed the St. John's River as the current tossed us around. But I pledged to drive the Maple Leaf, and I'm sworn to ride her down. We did not carry heroes' cargo on the Sherman's mighty troops. Holds are full of new brass buttons, uniforms, and leather boots. From the mills of Pennsylvania to the Boston cobbler's bench, iron and tin to do their cooking, cloth and thread to mend their tents. 10 old men and boys and children, the side wheeler's only crew. Lightly armed and lightly armored as the risk and danger grew. Leaving homes up in Ohio, Michigan, and Delaware. Mothers, wives, and sons and daughters left waiting for us there. So we sailed the St. John's River as the current tossed us around. But I pledged to drive the Maple Leaf, and I'm sworn to ride her down. We were headed up towards Jacksonville as the rains began to fall. The beauty of these riverbanks had hypnotized us all. 30 miles in from the ocean, and we lost all track of time. Saw the dolphins, birds, and gators, but we never saw the mine. Big hole blown there in the ports, I left the river pouring in. We fought hard against the water in a war we could not win. As our decks beneath the surface of this river deep and brown, all alone without notice, the Maple Leaf went down. So we sailed the St. John's River as the current tossed us around. But I pledged to drive the Maple Leaf, and I'm sworn to ride her down. Pledged to drive the Maple Leaf, and I'm sworn to ride her down. Thank you. 5 minutes? Time for one more. Saw Margaret sitting out there, so I'm going to do this song from Margaret. It's a song that I wrote years ago, and it's kind of a Will McLean musician's song. There we go. Margaret has told me a number of times that she really likes this one, so this is it's called Florida Pines. A bird can fly in from the sea, but blown 1,000 miles upon a tropical breeze. But we are bound fast to this land as we sink our human roots into the shifting sand. We came in boats, we came in cars, we came in numbers nearly countless as the evening stars. We came on roads, we came on rails, we came with dreams of endless sun and brightly colored sails. Still sometimes I think we've gone too far and gotten there too fast on this journey to the future from the past. I hear the words of Bill and Gamble as they whisper from behind, while I'm walking in the Florida pines. We tamed the land, we turned the ground, we drove our highways through the glades and tore the woodlands down. But we brought the world, and they brought cash. They raised the cane and cows, and filled the air with trash. Now they come in cars, they come in planes, they come to stand in endless lines despite the daily rains. But they buy their hats, stay out late to enjoy this plastic vision of the sunshine state. Still sometimes I think we've gone too far and gotten there too fast on this journey to the future from the past. I hear the words of Will and Gamble, they whisper from behind, while I'm walking through the Florida pines. But some have come, and some have cared. Some have helped ensure the corners of our world are spared. And they came in boats, and they came in cars, they came with voices in their hearts and played their old guitars. Now we feel the sun as we walk the shores and hear the verses of the poets who have gone before. And sometimes I think we've gone too far and gotten there too fast on this journey to the present from the past. I hear the words of Will and Gamble as they whisper from behind, while I'm walking through the Florida pines. I hear the words of Will and Gamble as they whisper from behind. walking through the Florida pine. Thanks a lot, y'all. See you around this weekend. I'll be with the Ashley Gang tonight and tomorrow afternoon. Thank you.
Paul Garfinkel, ladies and gentlemen, fine songwriter.